Hey guys, welcome back. This is another Inspiring the World Through Media workshop lesson translated digitally. This comes from a workshop that I teach every summer in Europe for the last 3 years at Mindvalley University, and I will probably be teaching this year, depending on coronavirus stuff, in Amsterdam at Mindvalley University, which is a wonderful program that I've been to, has radically shifted my entire life. And I want to make one thing super clear about this whole Inspiring the World Through Media concept, is that I am a content strategy person, not a distribution strategy person. That's an entirely different skill set that maybe we'll dig into in the future, but I wouldn't consider myself an expert at by any means, where content strategy is more of like an artist thing. So I don't know if there's as much science to content strategy beyond what I'm going to teach you here, but there's a tremendous amount of art in it, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you on how to find your own art within it and how to make your content feel really like you. So without any further ado, let's do a quick summary of the last video that's going to build us into what this video is all about. So the last video was about the 3 types of content that you can make of any business, whether it's an entrepreneur business, whether it's a huge business like Coca-Cola or Nike. So you've got sexy ad content. This content is all about just helping people become aware that you or your product or your service exists in the world in a way that feels like your brand or like you do. You've got information and educational content, which is all about teaching people how to grow using your product, your service, or the knowledge that you use in business or in life. And this could also be applied to activism efforts as well. And then you've got love content, which is letting people feel through your message, your service, your product, whatever it is. Now, the best types of content actually have all 3 of these wrapped up into one. They let people know who you are, what you do, what your product is, an awareness. It's like, boom, oh my gosh, AirPods exist. The second thing is the information or the education of either how to use the thing or what the thing is good for, or how you can improve your life using said knowledge, product, or service. Boom, on the AirPods commercial, you flip open the thing, it connects to your phone, you take the headphone out, it pauses the stuff, you put it back in, it plays the stuff. Oh my gosh, amazing. You didn't even have to really teach me anything, but you just showed me how it worked, but it was still educational and informational. And then third, the love. Let me feel what your product is supposed to be about. I really want to get into it with you. This is where music can become important, or sound design can become really important, which we'll talk about in future episodes of this Inspiring the World Through Media content. And so for today's content, watch till the very end, because each piece of this video is going to be super important. And if you love any piece of it, including the wrap up we already did, and you feel like you're getting a lot out of it, smash that like button, punch it in the face for the YouTube algorithm. So today's content is the number 1 most important thing I've ever learned about content strategy. And I'm going to teach it in 3 different ways. The first way I'm going to tell it to you is that it's so important that creating this content is fun and easy. Now, easy does not mean it's a walk in the park. Easy can mean very challenging because it's so fun to make it. Putting together this type of content for your business or your service comes down to, are you making the content with a strategy, with that inspiration, or is it suffering? Is it every time you pick up the iPhone or you want to make something or you bring in a film crew, it's a pain? And if it is a pain, let's see how we can get rid of that pain and make this whole experience a lot better for you. On one hand, you might be trying to help people. On another hand, you might be trying to get fantastic engagement from your posts, and you want to hear that you're helping people. So I have a lot of friends that really rely on that. I love that. I love to see awesome comments of people really benefiting and sharing with their friends, and that everyone's becoming a better person because of the things that I share and the way that I share them. So number 1, it's got to be fun and it's got to be easy. Again, easy could mean it's literally easy to create the content, but it also could just mean that it's easy to do challenging things because the outcome is so beautiful in your mind. The second way I could phrase this is, it's got to be something that fulfills you. Like creating this type of content, delivering the content, the entire process of understanding what you're going for in the long run needs to be very important to you. And if it's not, it's going to be really hard to make that content. And so again, it's going to become hard, not easy. And if it's hard, it may not be fun. Some people find it fun to do hard things. I find it fun to do easy things, even if they're done in a hard way. So for instance, being consistent on YouTube, creating this Inspiring the World Through Media content can be challenging. I sit down, I take lots of notes, and I figure out how to get the camera angles, especially while we're on the road with this coronavirus thing, and how do I make this all work so I can deliver this content in a meaningful amount of time so that you guys can really succeed in this digital workspace we're entering because of the self-quarantine areas. Which leads me to the third way I want to say this, is that you need to have such a clear vision of the outcome of the content that you're creating, that a strategy will naturally come into place between the sexy ad, the informational, and the love content. In future videos, I'm actually going to teach you what my ratios tend to look like when I recommend them to businesses or when I work as a consultant to businesses. How many sexy ads should you make? How many informational videos should you make? And how many pieces of love content should you make? And for each business, it's going to be different. Obviously, if your business is informational, say something like Mind Valley, who I've helped tremendously, a lot of their content is going to be educational and informational. But if you look at a company like Apple, they actually teach a lot less about what their product does and just helps you feel what the product is intended to make you feel in the content marketing that they're making. Are you starting to get the idea here that each person, each business is actually going to be different in what type of content they need to produce more of, and you're going to need to trial and error that. Hopefully you have a team or you have some consultants that can come in and help you with this to design the ideal content spectrum for you. It's also going to be seasons of life. When you have a bigger team, you can produce more content. When you have a smaller team, you can produce less content. So the more content that's fun and easy for you to make, and whatever size team you have, the better. And of course, whatever the results you're looking for, the better. So if you're looking for exposure or if you're looking for conversions, those are very different things. And then what level of conversion? So we're going to get into all of this as we get down this road of inspiring the world through media and getting more strategic about the content we create. But for now, I want to run you through an exercise and starting to design what could some sexy ad content, some educational content, and a piece of love content look like for you or your business or your activism that you're going after. Let's ask ourselves a couple questions about how we could create a sexy ad piece of content. I want you to think about all the best headlines you've ever written for your business or your solopreneur journey or your activism or whatever it is that you want to work on going through this exercise. So whatever content you want to create, let's look at what are the best headlines you've ever made and what are the best headlines you've ever seen in your industry, in your genre. So go ahead and pull out a notepad, get the Notes app open on your phone, whatever it is, and let's just collect some ideas. What are the best things you've seen in this industry or in this genre? Another thing I really like to do is just look at my favorite movie trailers that are recent, really up to date with the content creation that's out there in this day and age. So really, it's like every year content changes dramatically in how it's presented. And again, all of this information can be applied to writing, can be applied to photography, it can be applied to video. We're primarily talking about video here because it's one of the most difficult mediums to produce for, because it's very complex, and that's what I love about it. However, video can be very simple when you have these formulas. So for a sexy ad, the most important thing is focusing on a headline. So if we extrapolate like a text-based headline, for instance, how to win friends and influence people. That is one of the most fantastic titles ever created, and it's one of the most famous books. I'm sure most of you have at least heard of it, and a lot of you have probably read it. So let's take a look at if we were trying to market a book like that. How would we create a sexy ad piece of content? We can either go with a voiceover-based ad. If you go back to the previous video in this Inspiring the World Through Media series, you can see me doing a voiceover-based video, really trying to bring you into what's the vision, what's the grand vision of the results that you're going to get from the product, the service, the knowledge that we're displaying. And so for something like how to win friends and influence people, first let's ask a question. This is just an example. There are many ways to do this. Probably a lot of them are even better. This is me on the spot giving you an idea of how you can start to think about formulating a sexy ad. Have you ever seen those people that can just walk into a room and connect immediately with the perfect people? And they can do it consistently over and over again. They just seem like they're the coolest person in the room. They have all the greatest friends, and all those friends become business partnerships. What if I told you that that wasn't born, that was learned? Would you be interested in finding out what the process is, the science is, of being able to win friends and influence people? If you're interested in that, click below and go read 1,000 testimonials on this book, the reviews of people succeeding in this process. There's no question if it's going to work or not. It is. The real question is, do you want to be that person that has those connections, that has those friends, that has the network of their dreams? Click below to learn more. So it's very simple. It's not really telling you any strategies yet, but it's telling you that there's lots of strategies you're going to learn. So it's leading you to the education and informational stuff. And again, Sucksy Ads about bringing awareness that your product or your service or your knowledge exists. And so all I'm doing is making someone aware by voicing it over what I'm actually trying to provide for them in the most authentic, simplest, fastest way possible. So take a minute, write down that note that you're going to think about what a voiceover sexy ad would look like for your business. This is the simplest type to do. Another type would be literally showing it, like the Apple AirPods commercial that I featured in the last episode of Inspiring the World Through Media. It's a little bit more challenging to do, and there's a lot more technical prowess involved there and creativity. But go ahead and pause the video or do it after the video, coming up with an idea of what would a voiceover look like to really bring passionate awareness to the product, the service, or the knowledge that you're providing in your business. So moving on to the educational content. The question I want to ask you is, when people ask you about your product, your service, or your knowledge, and they are complete newbies, what are the first 3 questions that everyone asks? What's the FAQ of your business? And have you ever turned those into videos? In the video, the first thing you do is you say, here is what I'm going to teach you. The dream of what I'm going to teach you is this thing. It's going to be amazing. You are going to be able to make these 3 types of content easily by the end of this video. Stick around for the entire video to get the full context of what I'm actually going to be teaching you here so that you fully understand how to produce this content at a high level after this video. And I'm even going to walk you through simple exercises to start to isolate what exactly is the content that you're going to be making to start. And by the end of the video, you're definitely going to want to punch that like button in the face to improve the YouTube algorithm. And so you start with an introduction to the type of content you're going to be creating. Then you can introduce who you are. Then you get into the content. You definitely let people know to smash the like button, to share it with their friends if they can, and if they think it's valuable and it's really awesome content. That's on you to make sure it's really awesome content. Over time, it doesn't have to be perfect now. It's always about progress, not perfection. And at the end, you always thank them and you let them know what the next video may be about. If they want to learn more, if you have products, services, or deeper knowledge that they can have, let them know. When people love the content that you're creating and you're really helping them, a lot of times they want to dig way, way deeper so that you can have a deeper influence on their life and they can become a better person from what you're creating. So allow them that ability to figure out where to go to learn more with you. I find so many times there's these amazing influences in the world like Casey Neistat. I would love to be able to meet Casey and to hang out with him and support him and to learn from him. But he doesn't have anything to do that with yet, so we are just stuck waiting, and that's totally okay. Other people will fill that bucket. If you want to fill that bucket with deeper product, services, or knowledge, be our guest. And so for the third type of content, love, let's figure out what would a question be that you could ask to come up with what love content is. And I talked a little bit about this in the first episode. How did you become, how did the product, the service, or the knowledge that you've gained, how did that come to fruition? What were the painful moments that you went through to learn those things, to bring it all the way to the point that this product, this service, or this knowledge now exists in the form that it is now? And if it's valuable enough for you to be so passionate to produce content on it, I want to know why. We want to know why. Your customers, the people that are into trolls or Care Bears, really want to know why that has come to be. And this, again, love content is maybe 1 to 10% of your audience really wants to see it, but these are your true fans. Have you ever heard of Kevin Kelly's thing about 1,000 true fans? This is the content that those fans want. Who are the influences in your life that you would love to know more about? You would love to know their history, how they became who they are now, and how you could follow in their footsteps, at least partially. And then ask yourself, who are the customers that are waiting for you to produce this content for them? Who has messaged you saying, I love what you do and I want to learn more? Produce this content for them so that they can have that ability to go deeper with you, to fall in love with the product, the service, or the knowledge that you are providing. Allow them to support you by producing love content. And the second type of love content is featuring those people, your true fans. Especially as your business gets bigger, if you're getting to the 7, 8, 9-figure realm, you really want to start to feature the people that your business has helped, the people that it is changing dramatically. If you want a great example of how to do this well, especially on a big scale on YouTube or as an influencer, go look at Mr. Beast. This guy has done an incredible job of producing content featuring other people. No matter what size your business is, let's figure out who are the people that are looking up to you, that want to know more, that that deep love content where you can literally just sit an iPhone down and record your story told in a powerful way, which is something we're going to get into in a very soon episode of Inspiring the World Through Media, exactly how to tell these stories. This is an introduction so you can start to think about what are the stories you need to tell and start attempting that. And then the third thing for love content is start to figure out who are your true fans that have had incredible stories, experiences with your product, your service, or your knowledge base, and figure out how could you share their story in a powerful way. How have you seen that done powerfully before with other testimonial experiences and videos like that? And how could you do that, whether through a text, whether through just photos of like a 10-day challenge like I've done in the past, or whether it's through video media. And so anyways, I hope this really helps you guys, and I hope you're enjoying this content. I'm going to be trying to produce at least one thing a day, or at least filming one thing a day, and then editing it as quickly as I can while we are hiding here from the coronavirus. I did actually get to my full-time home with family and everything down in Florida. So I'm really excited to be here and to hunker down socially, isolate, and be very distant from people. And I hope you are all staying safe during this time. And if you know anyone who could really benefit from this right now, who's stuck at home, who needs to generate traffic and leads for their business, or if you want to spread activism messages and you want to help people, please refer this content to them and let me know what you want to see next so I can get these ideas really running hard so I can help you to the best of my ability. Anyways, see you next time.